Hi, Doug Gallivan, candidate for the People's Party of Canada for the Yellowhead riding. I'm making this video today in response to the cancellation of the Rocky Mountain House Forum. Gerald Soroka and myself were the only two that were to attend, but this is a common theme throughout this election, as none of the other candidates seem willing or able to actually participate properly. So one of the things in the last forum that was brought up at the end was Mr. Soroka made a comment stating that any vote for anybody but himself was in fact a vote for Justin Trudeau's Liberal government. And I'm here to say there's nothing that could be further from the truth in that regard. As far as the People's Party of Canada, we are a true conservative and principled party. So I'm going to explain a couple things that are happening that we have very, very different views on. One is, first and foremost, is the freedom of speech. This has been under a full-on assault over the last 4 years, and both, well, by the Liberals, but the complicitness of the CPC in this, whether it's the treatment of reporters on the campaign trail, whether it is the firing of MP Mr. Cooper from the Justice Committee, the acceptance and of bringing back Section 13 of the Human Rights Tribunal and that whole debacle in kangaroo court, and so that if someone's feelings are hurt, this can be described as hate speech. We've got M103 where the lines are now wanting to be blurred again between church and state or mosque and state. We have compelled speech legislation. All of these things must stop. And the PPC will yield no ground when it comes to freedom of expression. This is not something that's up for negotiation. So the next on my list would be the milk cartels and the quota systems that have been accepted and embraced by the Conservative Party of Canada. Since when has quota systems and the lack of free markets ever been anything that's remotely close to conservative values? They did this in a very odd way to make sure that the person that they wanted at the top of that party was in there, and the whole thing is just smacks of crony capitalism, and it's just a mess. We've got bailouts of big companies. We've got all these other things and subsidies for these companies that must stop. We've got uncontrolled spending in this country that all parties seem to be running around making promises. Our party is not doing that. We are talking about a controlled, balanced budget and getting back to fiscal responsibility, especially in light of the fact that we could be having an economic worldwide crisis coming. We have to be prepared for these things, and no one is talking about these difficult issues. Then something that had great impact on the Yellowhead specifically, I mean Alberta, Saskatchewan, and northern British Columbia, but specifically the Yellowhead, which I'm going to speak to, and that is the Paris Accord. Why did the CPC whip the vote on the Paris Accord, and with this whole notion that the United Nations is going to somehow tell Canadians what we're going to do with our industry outputs, like they have any place in our country. This is our sovereign country. I still cannot get an answer as to why they did that. Specifically, our MP, why would he take a whip on that vote for the Paris Accord when it was the very instrument that the Trudeau government used to destroy our industries right across the region? I still can't get an answer. So between those things and the constant meddling, whether it's in our Indigenous affairs from the UN, whether it's our immigration they're constantly wanting to meddle in, whether it's the outputs of our industry, the claim to our backcountry, you see this fight coming again. And who's going to stand there and fight for us? I put it to you, I am the man for the job in this riding. And so a vote for me is a vote for me. And I will push back on that the entire time through this campaign. Thank you for your time.